Number 7, I'm sorry, 6 we're on. 6 we're on. Whose turn to read?
So the operator should always check the tool feed blank before turning the machine on.
I think I told you that one already, didn't I?
Go on.
Tool feed what? She's not in this class anymore?
Oh, she's not? Okay.
Nope. Thank you. All right. Tool feed direction. We want to check the feed direction. So on this big lathe here, that is right over here. On the small lathe over there that you guys will be using, it is right next to the black switch. We'll show you that one. We're going to do about half of the center punch here on this machine, and then I'll finish it up over on the other one. All right. Fix one, please, Ryan.
Noonan.
On the large lathe, the machine is turned on by pushing the on and off lever to the right and blink. To turn the small lathe, the black switch moved blink to the right.
All right, so on the big lathe here, we're pushing this lever which way?
To the left.
Left.
Right and down. Right and down,
no.
so that it spins in a counterclockwise direction. Now, I have to point that out because it can also go up in reverse. Now, why in the world would I want it to go in reverse?
The left cut.
No. In some situations, you can actually cut from the backside. Not very often. We won't be doing any of that. Also, what you can do on these lathes like this is with the correct tools, you can actually cut threads. So like you can make screws or something like that on this machine. You ever seen a reverse thread? Or heard of a reverse thread? Uh-huh. It's there, trust me. All right? On the small lathe, the black switch is moved 2 clicks. 2 clicks to the right. And again, I will point that out when we're over there on that machine. Go ahead, Patrick, pick someone, please.
Start off your first cut. The cutter needs to be adjusted blank to the center line of the round stop.
We're going to go slightly below the center line. All right. I'm going to situate the cutter so it's somewhere inside here. Now, I have this little wheel here, which moves me along which axis? Which axis would that be?
Z.
Z.
No Z on this one. That's my y-axis, right?
Oh,
Remember, looking down at it that way.
I thought we were just.
Big wheel moves me in my x-axis here. So we have our x and y control. Guess you guys never thought that you'd use algebra. All right. What I did was I took my little bench ruler here, a little 6-inch ruler, and I pinched it between the cutter and my piece of round stock. Now, Joseph can see perfectly from there, and Skylar can too. It's tilted slightly back toward me as if I was standing in the operator position, right? So that means it is slightly below center. Next one, please.
Once the cutter is set correctly, it is moved so that it blank the stock and then the power is turned on.
Barely touches. Barely touches. All right. So what that means is I'm going to get right up here, relatively close to the chuck, and I'm moving it in until it barely touches it. Then, at this point, I can turn the machine on. Patrick, you can see right there, it made a real fine cut, didn't it? All right. Shut it off. So that right there is what we're looking for, is a very, very fine cut. All right, pick someone to read the next one, please.
Joe.
The greatest amount to cut at once is blank, and the grade will like
1.
0.03 inches.
0.03.
0.03 inches.
What's that called?
Alright, so right here, this is set at 0. Now, that's 0.03. Is that a lot?
Nah.
No, not much at all, guys. That's only 0.03 inches, alright? So what our goal is here, we have a 1/2 inch diameter piece of round stock. We need to get it down to 0.375. Alright? 0.03s seems like it's going to take a while, doesn't it? No, going from 1/2 inch to 3/8 of an inch really isn't going to take that long. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is, I know I'm barely touching. On the y-axis, I have this inner ring, or this middle ring here. I can reset my 0 point. So I can line that 0 up every single time right at my little indicator line here. Now, it's not going to do anything until I actually line it up, or I'm sorry, until I actually grab it by the handle here as the machine's running and move it in 0.03 inches. So if we turn it on, we go in 0.03, 1, 2, 3. And then I can start my auto feed, which is this little black lever to the right of my y-axis. So now it's auto feeding all the way down. What that does is that helps keep a nice consistent speed, and I'm going to get a better quality cut by using that auto feed. What you guys want to watch, especially those of you right up front here if you haven't found out already, when those little chips start flying, they get a little hot, alright? So it doesn't necessarily feel the best. Okay? You'll see every now and then one's going to go flying, it's going to go pretty far, alright? That's why it is very, very important that you guys are wearing your safety glasses at all times in here. What's that smoke coming off? Friction. Friction! So, we are trying to avoid large amounts of heat in here, guys. What's happening that it's actually causing that little bit of smoke? There's grease and oil and all that on there to keep this piece from rusting. So, as oil burns, it creates smoke, doesn't it? Right. When I get down to the end here, what do you think is the first thing I'm going to do? Shut it off. Turn off the machine? Not necessarily. First thing I'm going to do is shut off my auto feed. Then shut off the power. We're going to change this cutter after this cut. That's why it's squealing so much. There we go. Alright, so we're going to get all the way down to the end here. All the way down. This piece starts out at 6 inches long, or pretty close to, and then you're going to end up cutting it down to 4.5 inches long at the end. So let it get all the way down to the end. And then I shut off the power. Alright, whose turn to read? Whose turn to read?
Biggie. Once you reach the end of your cut, the blank is shut off first, and then the blank.
So what did I shut off first?
The auto feed.
Auto feed. Then what?
And then you turn off the power.
Then I shut off the power.
Why are you doing a left cut?
What's that?
Why are you doing a different cut?
Because you guys didn't like that squealing noise. Being nice to you. So, once I get down to the end, get through that first cut, I'm then going to bring it back to the start again. And when you line up for your next cut, If you look real closely, you can see it's tapered a little, isn't it?
Mhm.
Probably follows the angle that that tool is set at, isn't it? We want to make sure that when we zero it out, that we're actually touching the part that's consistent all the way down, not that angled part. We'll turn it on again. Now, is it always going to line up at 0 here?
Not unless you do it.
No, not unless I put it back to 0. Well, it doesn't have to be at 0 every single time. I could start here at 20, couldn't I? And if I go in 0.03, what am I going to turn it into? If I'm at 0.20, I want to go in 0.03. What's that? 0.23. So we'll turn it on. Turn it in, 0.23. So there's 21, 22, 23. Turn on my auto. All right. Next one, please. Mr. Green.
After 3 cuts are made at 0.03, the U will measure the diameter using a blank. The teacher may check your work with a blank.
What's that tool?
No idea.
I know you guys don't know. Anyone have any ideas?
Compass.
This is the one you guys are going to learn to read in here. This is a dial caliper. Dial caliper.
Dial.
Sorry.
You have dyslexia?
Now, occasionally what I may come and measure yours with, another tool that you guys were having trouble naming in your packet is a micrometer. Micrometer.
The what?
Spelled micrometer. Or if I just show you the box here. Right there, micrometer. What's the difference between these two? Which one's more accurate? This one is much more accurate. This only does one type of measurement. This measures outside diameter. Dial caliper can measure my outside diameter, inside diameter, depth, and I can also do a step measurement from here. Alright, we gotta make sure we're paying attention here, watching what's going on.
What happened if you didn't?
What happens if what?
If you didn't pay attention to it?
If I didn't pay attention, I'd run into that.
Would it start cutting that?
Yeah, that's why it's all scored up, isn't it? So that could be my students who decide it's a good idea to start texting while they're running machines. Uh-huh. Yeah. So should you be playing with your phone while you're doing this? Probably not. All right. All right. Even this, which is a cheap machine, costs about $10,000, guys. All right. We're going to stop there for right now. We're going to move over to the other machine.